council today to ask them for an update on my homelessness application. And basically what I have been told is apparently I gamble £1,000 every month. I gamble £1,000 every month, and they want to know why I'm doing that. And because of this gambling, I was bypassed and someone else has been given my house. Now, I'm not even joking you, I burst into tears. I was crying my eyes out. I was literally like, how the fuck, like, I don't even gamble. I said, I don't even do the lottery. I don't understand where you've got this information from. I said, you've got my bank statements from January, like, where do I gamble £1,000? So I got bypassed my property, and they also said it's because they needed information from me, because they needed to see my March accounts from my Starling and my Lloyds, but they have them. No one asked me for this information, but they did on Friday, and that was at 1 o'clock, and by 5 o'clock they had the bank statements again, despite the fact that they had the bank statements 2 months ago on my Kent Home Choice, and also a month ago when I first ever went into the council and I gave you guys that massive update. They also had the March accounts then. So I'm so confused where they get their information from, why I've been bypassed. I've just been a fucking mess, guys. I don't even know what to say. Like, I'm absolutely gutted. My housing officer was like, yeah, basically he sympathises with me, like he doesn't understand either. He then called me back, like, because he was like, go and take 15 minutes and I'll get someone to come and see you. I went back to my car, changed Luca, he's done a massive shit explosion. So I drove to Asda to go and get him a new outfit, because where I was only popping in the council, I did bring a spare outfit out for him. Popped to Asda, got him an outfit, went back to the council. Olu called me again. He called me again and then said, I've seen that there's no evidence of you gambling £1,000 a month, so he doesn't understand. And I was like, well, I don't understand. I said, because you've given my house to someone else because you think I gamble £1,000 a month. And I'm not being funny, guys, but even if I did, can they still tell you they're giving you a property but then give it to somebody else because you gamble? Is that a thing? Because I don't, like I said, I don't even gamble pound, I don't do the lottery, I don't do anything like that, and I never really have, to be honest. But I've done it when I was first able to get like a scratch card. I got a scratch card, but I've never gambled anything. So yeah, I've been a mess. And then again, they was just asking me about payments on my accounts. They wanted to, like, they said that I got paid through Instagram. I was like, no, I don't get paid through Instagram, I get paid through Meta, and I get paid through TikTok. And then there was like asking me about that, and again I said, it says TikTok information on my bank statement. Do you know what I mean? Like, I had to point out to them what each thing was, even though it clearly says like TikTok information. And they asked me what I spent that money on, and I just said bills, life, whatever I need at the time. But everyone knows all this information. I just felt like they was asking me things that are in front of them. I feel like they were trying to make up something because I've obviously kicked off about how my house is given to someone else over gambling, even though I don't gamble. So wherever they got that information from, I've asked them, they need to provide me with all this information. I've said, like, whatever resources you're using are wrong. What are you using? Where are you getting this information from? Because I just feel now, right, I just feel like everything the council have told me has been a lie. I just knew in my head it was too good to be true, that 1 minute I'm going to temporary accommodation, 2 days later I'm getting a 2-bedroom house. I just knew something was not right, which was why I kept asking them for updates, and they're going, be patient, be patient. But all the time I was being patient and you was telling me to wait, there was actually things that you wanted to know. Like, why didn't you bring up the gambling thing to me so I could have told you that I don't do it, and where's the proof? Guys, I've not got much to say. I'm heartbroken. I feel sick to my stomach that, like, I don't know what's happening. They have said to me that they will try to find me something else because I was already told yes for that. I literally feel I'm going to throw up. You know what, the last time I went in the council, the day after, I was throwing up everywhere. I threw up all in my car and I was so ill, and I'm feeling like that again. And now I know it's stress related because of what the council is putting me through, and I don't know what to do. My housing officer isn't in until Thursday, so he's calling me. There's no way for me to contact him unless he calls me. And also, I've already sent away emails. If anyone has any advice, and this has happened to anyone else, let me know. If you've ever been offered somewhere over the phone and then they've backtracked, please let me know if this has happened to you, because I don't gamble, and my house officers said, oh, we can see you don't gamble. But what about the house I was told I was moving into? What about the temporary accommodation? Like, you need to get me out.